response video to the defending champ. Anyway, I'm just going to fix his lies and distortions and perversions and all that shit. So he makes a ton of accusations, all on all the comment sections on both the videos, so I'll just paraphrase some of those briefly. Complaints about the video style again, playing somebody else's video somehow is cheating. That somehow I cut off his sentences and lose his points, and again, let's go back to his own video. I mean, his point isn't that obscure. Morality is not objective, so there's no such thing as a reasoned or logical description of actual reality. There's no value reality. That's essentially all that statement says. Morality or value is not real, but who the fuck cares? As if, well, gee, I think I would care. Why would anybody worry about anything if all outcomes are the same and there's no value, real value difference between outcomes, which is essentially what he's saying. Talking about truth again, so no objective morality. So let's understand, he's talking about whether there's a truth regarding value. So it's his argument that, yes, you could torture everything forever, and that's just as good as not torturing everything forever, which is stupid. Then he talks about guilt and empathy being manipulating people. I've already argued the guilt argument. You can't guilt somebody into something unless they believe what you're saying. You have to believe somebody for them to cause you any guilt. You have to actually believe it. And likewise, empathy, you have to believe the thing that's being subjected to some harm is being harmed. If I see somebody being mercy killed, and I understand that they lived a very nice life, they're very sick, they're done, blah blah blah, they want to die, I don't feel any empathy or problem. Now, if it's the other way around and they don't want to die and they're protesting and they say, I'm only 15 years old, different scenario, different kind of reaction. It's based on what you understand. So again, bullshit. So whatever. What else? So anyway, the rest of the comments are all just character assassination. And that's all they have as an argument, is character assassination. So we'll go back to this video. So he talks about manipulation, like I said in that other video. People manipulating people, and look what he does. Emendum is legend. So he changes the subject. So he puts in bold type, morality is bullshit, and then changes the subject to emendum. Tactics. I love you. Love you, XXXO. Like, this isn't just playing a game. Oh yeah, of course it is. Because you don't have an argument. And that's all these people ever resort to. And so the people who showed up in the comments section are the same kind of trolls that just say shit. See, yeah, he starts bashing me without watching 1 second of the video. Pretty funny stuff. You wrote it in your description. You had a statement in the title. That's pretty funny stuff for you to complain that somebody reacted to your, in bold letter, title. Idiot. Anyway. So let's just play it and get it over with and be done with it, because it's just a waste of time, because obviously he can't make a serious argument defending his nonsense. So it's just, again, you're cheating, you're unfair, you're bad, you're mean. No argument.
I woke up and checked my comments, and I was told that my video had been responded to by...
Right, so you make a video, again, let's just point out, morality is not objective, but who the fuck cares? You make a video with that title, and then you basically say in here, but if we are talking about truth, the whole objective morality thing is a total joke. There's no truth value to somebody making the statement that torture is bad. No truth value whatsoever.
Gary, amend him. Amend him or amend him? I don't know. But,
yeah, well, really interesting. Who cares?
Yeah, it's the same. Well, I guess you forgot. We are.
No, I don't know. I see again. Strange. I forgot. Why would you assume I forgot? You say something stupid on the internet again, and somebody responds to you again, and you don't make a rational counter-argument, of course. You run away from the argument, essentially, as you did the last time. It seems like you're the one who forgot that you bailed out the last time. Pussy.
You similar things years ago. First, let me just say, this man is a legend. A legend.
Yeah, this isn't on the subject. So again, let's waste time with absolutely game-playing nonsense, right? Psychobabble bullshit, right? Whatever this is, right? This is what, some sort of character assassination, sarcasm slash crap. Manipulation. Oh, that's right. That's what it is. Manipulation. The very thing you said, people are using. They're using guilt and emotionalism and attacking people with their empathy. And what are you doing? Fuck. Pathetic.
I love Gary. I used to get.
I think that's a lie, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I love. Well, then I would not. This is how you use the word love even. So you're even slandering love now by using it in this context.
Angry about it. I still did a little bit because it's hard to not get angry, when someone keeps saying, fuck tar, an idiot, you're like, but then you just realize it's Gary. And
no, maybe what you should realize is that, yeah, you're kind of a superficial, glib asshole who doesn't really think about what he says. Yeah, maybe that's what you should realize. Come on, mate. Work. Oh, I don't have to touch it. Yeah, it's hot as hell. Well, fuck it.
And at the end of the video, too, you see how cute and adorable he is. Like, he really just kind of wants to get laid or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, let's see how to contextualize that. Yeah, so I take out 2% of the video to do what you just did, right? Which is waste time. And you need to comment on that.
But,
You're a great counter-argument.
asshole, you're a shithead. You're a moron. I'm angry. Something's happening here. I'm angry on YouTube. Things are happening.
So he's back to making the same exact argument he made in the other video, right? The conversation doesn't matter. I can say whatever I want, and they're not. I'm not. There's nothing I'm saying that should provoke any kind of reaction from people. I mean, I could say just any outrageous thing. People should eat fetuses for breakfast. It doesn't matter. Blah 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 blah. I mean, just as glib and as vacuous in terms of what are you doing on the internet, but just wasting people's time, right? So this is all just one of your little selfish pleasures, right? You don't take any of this shit seriously. Fuckhead. Little faggoty dog.
It's like you got the 20 people that love you, Gary, and they agree with what you say, and you got the 20 people that probably hate you, and they hate you, and then there's everyone else in the world.
Right. This has absolutely nothing to do with the subject, okay? I don't care about whether any of this shit, okay? I'm making arguments. You apparently can't understand that there was arguments made in the video. You made a statement. You're apparently suggesting you might be willing to defend it, and yet that's not what you're doing. You're wasting time talking about whether or not there's any point in me responding to your inane and stupid comment. Oh, yeah, well, I think there is, and so I did, and I don't give a fuck about all this bullshit. You want me to psychoanalyze why you're making videos when it gets 90 views, idiot? There's absolutely no point. This is fucking nonsense, you jackass.
Yes. But, I don't want to go over the actual points,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I won. Yeah, that's just such a, again, just more glib shit. You're just too much of a pussy to defend what you said, and then you're too much of a pussy to admit, yeah, your argument is shallow and stupid, that it's really kind of just goddamn stupid and dumb to say there's no such thing as any value in the universe that can be discerned through intelligence. I think that's just really, 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 really preposterously stupid. But yeah, you said it.
That was just brilliant argumentation. But I will say a few things.
Good.
Anyway, Um, you don't argue against what people are. Maybe I don't watch other videos. You don't argue ever against what I'm actually saying. Very little.
Yeah, well, again, this is just accusations. Just no evidence of this. No example of how I missed one of your brilliant arguments. Again, I could just go back to the title and the description of your video. I don't need your would even make the fucking video to get your fucking point, fuckhead. You said it. It doesn't exist. That's what you said, shithead.
Like 10% of your arguments are actually arguments against what I said. And the rest is just you hear half a sentence and then
Yeah, whatever. That's just your lie, okay? So go ahead and lie all you want, okay? I don't. What can I do about it? You want to be a liar, and that's how you're gonna live your life as some guy who just lies about other people on the internet? Well, fine. Go ahead and lie, asshole. But that's not what fucking happened. I played your fucking video. Your arguments were inane and vacuous. You just basically argued from, we all believe there's no such thing. Don't you know it? I mean, you might as well just said Nietzsche said or something. I mean, it wasn't an argument you defended with anything called logic.
you just make up the things that you normally, what you want to say. There's things you want to say, so I just got to give you just enough so you can get your launching pad to making the points you want to, like, reiterate.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, you have to reiterate these points that, yeah, we're not just emotional animals. We fucking goddamn developed a knowledge base and an understanding of reality, and we can now figure out simple concepts like, oh, yeah, we're a psychology. Developed or built or constructed by nature. And if we were salmon, we could figure out not to swim upstream. And if we were some other organism, we could figure out that, gee, that's damn stupid. And as human beings, we can do the same thing. We can analyze our native psychology and figure out, oh, gee, there's huge holes in the way nature, the view nature gives you of reality versus what knowledge gives you.
I guess probably the past 10 years, and you'll probably keep doing till you die. And I don't know, maybe you're making a difference in something. I don't, good job if you are.
Well, you'd think if you're going to make all these accusations, you know one way or the other. And again, but it's just so fucking irrelevant. I mean, if you think arguing is a waste of time, I don't know why you're provoking it, idiot. I mean, you go on the internet, provoke an argument, and then say arguing is a waste of time. I mean, god damn. If that isn't pussy bullshit, what the fuck is that? You lame ass?
Let me think. You've given me, like, I don't really think I want to have kids anyway, but you definitely, I was probably introduced to more of the ideas on, like, moral reasons to not have kids through your videos. And with that,
Yeah, again, so how does that fit into your subjective crapola? So you were given a perspective that enhanced your current perspective or gave you more reason to believe something or to feel something. How is that subjective? How is that not acquisition of knowledge and gaining an unbiased rather than biased perspective?
reminds me of there was people try to justify what they already want anyway. Like I don't really believe that you make huge sacrifices in your life for your objective morality.
Well, you can say that all you want to goddamn say it, but I think everybody develops it. Every single human being is born a selfish cunt, and all of them in some way or other moderate that selfishness with some understanding. They understand that, oh yeah, it really sucks to get old, and so they cut old people a break. They figure stuff out, and they react to that figure. They understand some sort of concept of what if that was me. They're able to do that. Almost every single human has done some measure of that.
Which brings up the other point is, you can keep saying the same things over and over, but you're not actually making any argument. It's just
Well, no, that's just a flat-out lie. I mean, I've made the argument over and over again. You can't tell the difference between a philosophical thought and a psychological reaction. I certainly can. I think I've made the argument that this idea of philosophy separate from your emotional necessity exists. You do not always have to see everything based on your personal interest or your personal advantage or your personal feelings. You could hate a food, for example, personally, and understand that it's perfectly reasonable for somebody else to enjoy it. Fuck you, you idiot.
But there's got to be a best possible answer. I mean, it's kind of like the God argument that people make.
Right, so to recognize the fact that there are grades of solution to a problem, that there's really dumb solutions and really brilliant solutions, that there's something intrinsically flawed in that fact. No, there isn't. And what he perverts this to in the comment section is the accusation that, so you do everything perfect? So every thought you have is a perfect thought? Nowhere in the video is that the argument. The argument is perfection, let's say, is out there, and there's absolutely no reason not to strive for it. You can't achieve it, and so what? Why wouldn't you head in that direction? That's right, no good reason not to.
There must be a best creator, because that just has to be true.
A best creator. What is this? How does this even make any sense in the context of religion? A best creator? What the fuck is that? People don't choose their religion, you idiot. First off, okay, they take the one they've been given at birth. There's no decision making. There's no logic applied.
Like there's no rational argument behind it. You never.
Well, again, I don't know what else you can say. I think as soon as you say the word psychology, you've said something fairly rational in acknowledging that our psychology is something that manifests itself based on all kinds of bigoted biases of nature, not anything logical or sensible. Our compulsive desires are not a manifestation of logic. I think that's a rational statement, asshole.
Point out, like, who's going to determine it? You? Are you going to determine it for everyone? Do we all?
No, the argument is, okay, like a trial. Who's going to determine if OJ is guilty or not? Well, I guess the evidence is going to do that. And I think the evidence is overwhelming that sentience is not nothing, that it is profoundly something, and that everybody's personal experience is clearly that there's a huge difference between the best day of their life and the worst day of their life, and they're not the same thing. So right there we have value. And I don't think you can unravel that or say that's not a truth. It's a fact. There's a value difference between different states of experience. They're different, and the difference is value. What's your counter argument, shit for brain?
Come up with the individual. If it's objective, what is it? What is your equation? Now maybe you put forth an
yeah, I've put forth plenty, and yeah, I did it in the video I responded to you in. So this is just more bullshit, like pretending I didn't make the argument. But that's just because you're not playing my video, you're not quoting me, you're not doing anything but slandering me and evading me because you're a pussy.
I don't know it, because luckily I don't spend my life watching your videos. But
so another statement where, well, gee, what? I shouldn't watch your videos. Okay, you make them, and the argument you should have put in bold text in your video is, don't watch this video because I'm not going to listen to your argument anyway. Okay, fuck you, cunt again.
Yeah, it's like a point. The point of my video, I was explaining how it's a pointless argument, how it doesn't really go anywhere, how people.
So it's a pointless argument to say, hey, guess what? There's two ways to look at the world, okay? Rational and based on your irrational bigotries, and that it would be preferable if people were informed and made logical and rational decisions about what we're going to do, rather than people make irrational decisions. I mean, that's why we have global warming and unsustainable economy and all this thing, is because people aren't making rational choices, they're making personal choices. What's in it for me choices. And those choices aren't going to be in the best interest of the human race. And that's the simple argument here. There is a huge consequence based on where or how you're making determinations about what's right and wrong. And if you're doing it based on what mommy says, well, yeah, you got to do a little better than that.
That want to conquer and kill and eat pig because it tastes good and they don't care about the pig suffering are just going to do that. You know, you arguing how it's objective isn't going to change them.
Well, again, I just don't know how to even say anything to that argument because I've lived an entirely different experience. So you can say that's true, but I can give you testimony from people who would testify that they have been changed by arguments, and I personally was changed by arguments. So again, I don't know what's your evidence that there's no such thing as a powerful or convincing or persuasive argument. What's your fucking evidence for that, you asshole who's making arguments on the internet? Well, you're not really making arguments. You're just making declarations that you don't wish to defend. I mean, who has the God complex, asshole? I declare there's no morality and it's a joke. Ha ha ha. But I'll defend that with nothing. Glib crap. Weasel.
And it's really not going to change anybody. Someone who will change their mind.
Right, so this is his argument. I mean, it really is. Can it get stupider than this? He's making arguments about how arguments are ineffectual. I mean, fuck.
About eating pig or eating meat or whatever are going to do it out of their own, you know, they see a video, they have a conversation, certainly not with you, well, maybe, who knows, maybe you've convinced some people, but the vast majority...
Yeah, maybe, yeah, all this bullshit, that's right, yeah, maybe I have, and like I said, is that going to change your argument any? So if I prove to you that I've changed dozens, maybe hundreds of people, is that going to change the tone of your argument any, or are you just going to find another cheap bullshit slander to throw at me about how this is somehow about me and it's not somehow about the argument that was already fucking goddamn made? And again, I'm just going to argue this is just an insipidly silly argument you're making that somehow I'm going to argue in defense of the argument that arguing is not effective. Fuck you.
People who change their mind probably changed it through talking to someone who, you know, approached it in a more...
Oh, okay, this is real science now. Oh, he's pulled out the statistics, right? Oh, wait a minute, no, he has nothing. He's just going to say something entirely made up, pulled right out of his fucking ass. People who persuade people first buy them lunch, and then, yeah, they talk over lunch, a free lunch, and that's how they persuade them. And then they say complimentary things about how not crooked their eyes are or something. Oh, you have very not crooked eyes. Yeah.
They just showed them what's happening, and then they decided, oh, I feel bad about that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, they showed them and they said, I feel bad about that. Is that really how you think it works? I don't think so.
Well, aren't going to make their life decisions based on you yelling about how morality is objective.
Well, again, most of my video is not yelling. The only part they're yelling is really saying, how the fuck can somebody grow up, call themselves some sort of adult, think they have some sort of knowledge about anything, make a public video, and be as dumb as you? How the fuck can they do that? I mean, you know, geez, you'd think that the embarrassment would be so fucking high. You'd have some inhibition to fucking contradict yourself in, 15 seconds worth of gibberish.
Yeah, man. You fucktard, you idiot. There's gotta be a...
Well, again, so that's the subject of the video. You fucktard, you idiot. I don't even know if I said those exact words in the video, but it doesn't really matter. It's not the subject of the video.
But there's gotta be an answer to things. There's gotta be one best answer to every situation.
No, really, again, this wasn't the argument, right? The argument that there's a best answer is theoretically quite reasonable, but my argument is that there's obviously a worse answer. That's the substance of the video.
You gave the example.
The argument. There's obvious worse answers.
Well, if I had to push someone off, I mean, your examples are ridiculous anyway, but
So another statement made by him. It's just stupid to use metaphors and analogies to try to illustrate a point. A thought experiment. Yeah, what kind of idiot would Einstein would never resort to that, would he? Oh, wait a minute. I mean, fuck you.
I pushed someone off a bridge, a pretty girl, or a smelly guy. It's like, he said, oh, I want to get laid, so I pushed the smelly guy. First of all, who would you push off then? First of all, you definitely want to get laid. I can just, you see it in your eyes.
Yeah, it's exactly my point. But then my reason would say I'm not allowed to do that. If I'm making this very important decision, if I have to make this important decision, that I should use my best judgment, not my worst judgment. My argument was kind of simple. Subjectivity would be my worst judgment. Objectivity, using the facts, finding out which individual had a more viable opportunity to do good in the world, would be the sensible thing to do. If I find out the guy's a child molester, well, then he's done. And if I find out the bitch is, I don't know, some sort of reckless baby maker, then maybe she's the one.
You probably would definitely push off the smelly guy yourself. And
so you'd say I probably definitely would, which is just an absolute pile of shit that I exactly contradicted in the video, stating that's exactly the opposite of what I would do. So what the fuck is this bullshit? You know, fuck you. I mean, lying about my character or what I would do? Liar. I mean, we're talking about your philosophy gives you no alternative but to do something subjective by your definition. You have no alternative. You can't do any logic on the subject of value because there's no such thing as a logical value. I'm the one arguing there are logical values. Productivity.
Even if you're going to claim you wouldn't, how would you come to the conclusion? Oh, I just have the answers. I determine people's value based on these criteria. No, it's all your own.
Based on these criteria. You're saying, no, there's no such criteria. So there's no such thing as being, there's no difference between, the woman is a cancer researcher who's just on the verge of doing something brilliant, and the guy is a fucking child molester who, you know, has raped and molested and harmed hundreds of people. And I can't make a distinction rationally now. There's no choice. I still have to go by who smells better. Bullshit.
Bullshit. Your own personal preferences, and you're going to want to call them objective.
Well, again, so he's calling it a personal preference. So if you understand that tormenting and torturing and harming things is bad, that's a personal preference. It's not that you understand it because you've been conscious and you understand what it is to be conscious and you understand that torture is bad. No, it's because you have some subjective distaste for, you have a bigotry against torture. You have a bigotry against brutality and suffering and harm. You're a bigot against it. No. Sorry, no.
Making the points about it boils down to what disgusts you more, or what you have concern with, the farmer or the animal. I wasn't arguing in favor of the farmer. Fucktard, idiot.
Well, I'm just saying, I'll do it. I'll replay your video. There's no other way to interpret it. You were basically arguing that there's no way to avoid these consequences, and no matter what good you do, there's a yang of bad. You were making some sort of yin-yangy crap argument that there's no such thing as a difference because somehow, the imbalance, the harm is still going to exist. It's just you can't get rid of the harm. Which was idiotic. Idiot.
Yeah, idiot, shithead, you fucking fucktard idiot, shithead. I wasn't arguing in favor of the farmer. The point is that if you had 99% of the population who just, for whatever reason, even if it's stupid reasons, all of their feelings inside.
So even if it's stupid reasons, okay.
Just their feelings of compassion and empathy were totally towards the farmer, and the cow they couldn't get those feelings for the cow. It wouldn't matter how much logic you use. Logic doesn't.
Well, again, this is just so idiotic, right? So they no matter what reason you just said, and so you're again just making the argument that somehow there's no way for anyone, okay, because you can't be persuaded by information. That information doesn't change your mind. If I show you statistics about, let's say, some drug that kills more people than it cures, that your opinion wouldn't be different. I mean, whatever we find. I say that Chihuahuas. There's a statistical fact, okay, that at night they go out and they chew the nuts off of babies or something. What? It's not going to change your opinion of Chihuahuas? I mean, this is again. What's you're not making any sensible argument here. People can't. They're always gonna. There's no such thing as convincing a Nazi that Jews aren't the devil. I mean, it's just stupid.
Really trump everything. Emotions do play into it. Your own emotions play into it. Not that you never.
Well, again, this whole idea, and the whole point I made is that if you understand that your emotions tend to be selfish and corrupt, bigoted, then you can temper them. You have control over them. You can feel them and say, gee, I'm such an asshole. And then you can think and use your brain and be fair. So you can have your emotional response, which is, yeah, save my kind, help my guy, help my friend. And then you can have the rational response is, okay, let's think about this one logically. And you can do it. It's really easy to do. You can have your bigotry and still be reasonable. You can. Yeah, it's really easy. I mean, you can want to rape a and not rape her. It's the truth.
Acknowledges your own emotions, your own biases. You act as if you, like everyone else, or the vast majority of people, especially those who don't agree with you, they're all biased and stupid. But you get.
Again, that's not the argument, right? The argument isn't that, my personal behavior in the world has been exemplary and that I never make any mistakes and that I never blah blah never been a selfish asshole. No, I've made explicitly the opposite argument and said, yes, I'm an asshole. I've conceded the point. But, knowing you're an asshole is the first step to not being an asshole. Fact. Again, another one of these facts. And it gives you all kinds of power to step past your bigotries and your biases once you acknowledge the fact that you have them. I mean, once you know you're addicted to, say you like watching sports or you like watching some TV show, once you admit to yourself, oh, I'm just fucking addicted, it becomes really easy to walk away.
At the peak of intellectual superiority and non-biased. And
so again, this nowhere in the video was this the argument. The argument wasn't about me. The argument was about the principle, and the principle is kind of simple. There's a truth in the world, okay, based on this idea of value, and the idea of value is based on the obvious, the thing all sentient beings know, which is the difference between being tortured and being in ecstasy. And they know that a difference exists, and that's a value difference. And the argument is there's a way to create more of that ecstasy stuff than there is that torture stuff and how you interact with the world. And that's basically the definition of morality. Morality is behaving consistent with things that have a probabilistic likelihood of creating positive balances. That's it. A probabilistic likelihood. We're only obligated to do our best based on what we can know. No other statement was made in the video, so this is all just lying, to say that I made a video saying I have superior judgment, and I'm brilliant, and I'm great, and I'm fantastic, and you're all assholes. That wasn't the video, jackass. I defended the idea that there's a truth regarding value that you're denying, and I defended that it's easily accessed by any human being by just being a little bit fucking honest and just admitting that their subjective personal tastes in women or any food or anything has nothing to do with any kind of logical decision, and it has everything to do with a fish swimming upstream, and that you're just being obedient to stupid, idiotic, circumstantial nonsense, and that you should grow up and apply your best reasoning to these situations in life rather than your worst reasoning. asshole.
Emotions don't factor into your decisions. And, you know, as I made some comment on your video, like, yes, you've certainly never spent $1, or, you know, these days, you never spend $1.
Well, again, so this is, he complains about having some of his incomplete sentences, or, you know, me cutting him off before he made a complete point or did something. He's not playing my video. Nowhere in my video did I make any argument about my perfect judgment. So this is just a fucking lie. I mean, what right do you have to complain when you lie this grotesquely about what argument was made in this counter-argument I made? I made no such counter-argument, you motherfucking cunt. You're just such a fucking liar.
That isn't necessary, that could have gone to, you know, benefit animals or benefit starving children or something, right? You never waste money on maybe a DVD or a piece of...
Again, how does this have anything to do with your claim and my counter-argument to your idiotic claim? Morality is not objective. But if we're talking about truth, the whole objective morality thing is a total joke. You're saying there's no truth to value. I made the counter-argument, you idiot. I didn't make any argument that I am the source of all knowledge in the universe, you dumbass. Nowhere in my video did I make that argument. It's just so obnoxious. God, liars suck.
Chocolate that you don't need. I don't know what the fuck you're into, but there's something you're into that you spend your money. You're not some fucking objective, like, maybe you know what's objectively moral, but you don't really follow. I mean, it just...
Yeah, exactly, asshole. That's right. I could know that, I could be in war, and I could calculate that, okay, I'm the biggest loser in this foxhole, and I really should jump on the grenade, but I still might not do it because I'm a fucking coward and a weasel. It's a fact. I can't be assured I'm going to do the right thing. Yeah, because I am a selfish, dumb animal. Well, I'm not dumb. I'm a selfish animal. That's right. And sometimes I'm not the best animal I could be. And that's a truth, too. But that's really not the subject of the video, jackass. The subject of the video is your bold, obnoxious claim that you know the truth, and the truth is there's no value truth. Based on what argument you made? Oh, that's right, no argument you made.
It just doesn't matter. The things you're saying is just you're just an angry dude who...
And you're just a glib liar. Oh, okay. I wouldn't even call you a dude because, like, well, I mean, I should, because that's all you deserve. Dude is just another one of these ways to trivialize somebody else. It's not, in any way a respectful term. It's making you sound like you think you're cooler, you're better than. You can dude somebody.
Who has, a few people that watch your videos. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, well, that's all it is to you, and that's fine, because you don't make an argument, you just slander people. So, yeah, I understand. You're just jerking off, jackass. But we'll see in the end who's what and who's where and blah, 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 and what mattered and all that kind of crap. Fat lady hasn't sung. The little Weasley dog hasn't been run over. So, we'll wait and see.
But I still think you're a legend. You're a YouTube legend. And you've given me a lot of pleasure over the years.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot and a moron and a jackass and a fucking manipulative Weasley, low-charactered waste of goddamn fucking neurons. That's all you are. You're a waste of neurons.
So I thank you for that.
And I hate you for that. I hate you for this whole idea that you're going to just go on the internet and waste people's time with nonsense and drivel and baby talk about how there's nothing we can do and there's no point in even talking about it. Fuck you.
I have friends, I have a friend named Gary, and we talk about you a lot, kind of reference you and talk about consumption, reproduction, and all that, and it's been fun. So overall...
Yeah, again, so that makes absolutely no sense once again. We talk about you a lot, but you have had no influence. Got it. Okay, fuckhead. I mean, fuck. You can't see the obvious contradiction in your fucking argument. It's like you're making this absolute statement that it's absolutely impossible to affect anybody with fucking words. And then you're just saying, yes, well, I've been totally affected by words. Ugh, fuck. I mean, fuck. Yeah, I mean, okay, you didn't say consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction. You didn't get all of the words, but shit. Two of them, that's something.
You've relieved suffering in my life. You've caused some suffering because it's just kind of annoying to hear you talk a lot of times.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty fucking annoyed with your existence, to tell you the truth. So,
Your
payback.
arguments get kind of boring because you say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all you did was do exactly a repeat of your first video here, where you just basically said there's no point in talking except for, well, the words are sometimes meaningful. But otherwise, there's no point in talking.
Comfort your material, I get it. But you're passionate, and that's good. Keep up the good work.
Well, you just basically said there's no point in it, okay? If it isn't about something real, then being passionate about a lie would be really a bad thing to wish on somebody. I mean, I really don't wish somebody to be subjectively passionate, okay? That is just such a waste of goddamn fucking time. So if it's not the truth, if the cat's getting run over in the street, or the poor people in Africa suffering and having diseases and AIDS and all that shit, if that all isn't really bad, then why would I want somebody suffering over it? Why would I want somebody all angsty and passionate about doing something? That would be like a curse you would put on somebody, to be worried about something that's not a problem. Wouldn't that be called like the last thing you would wish on somebody, idiot?
Work. You don't really. I think I mentioned this already, but you don't argue against what I said. You make up your own argument.
I mean, it's really not difficult. Let's again go back to what he titled the video. Morality is not objective, meaning it doesn't have any validity as a logical or reasonable something detected or discovered through the capacity to reason and to do logic. It can only be ascertained through some sort of, the biology tells me to swim upstream. And so swimming upstream is important because the biology says so. We can't understand that having feelings, the difference between having feelings and being obedient to our feelings. Okay, having the capacity to desire is a thing you can understand. What you desire, you can also understand to be just complete rubbish. The capacity, having the capacity is not the same talking about the capacity to desire and talking about what you desire are two different subjects, idiot. But you can't understand that, apparently.
Of what you want me to say, you know. And I love you.
Yeah, whatever that kind of crap is, this gives me a little bit of a creep. Thank you very much. The cliche. Why don't you just go peace out or something? Yeah, right. That solves a lot of problems. Talking's no good, but I love you. Blowing kisses. That fixes everything. Yeah, puke. So anyway, these comments really are, some of them are quite priceless, and I probably should read some of them because they really are. But yeah, it's just a conversation about Gary. There's nothing about the subject in here at all. So anyway, so fuck it. Fuck that. So I think I'm going to try to use this. I'm going to make pages on the website, and so I'll, put links to videos related to this subject. So this will be the little nihilist page. The assholes who don't think there's anything real to worry about. That we can only have our silly emotional worries that have nothing, no connection to anything real, so don't really worry about it. Again, it just doesn't make any sense. If I'm watching a movie, right, and I can see somebody getting killed in a movie, alright, I can see somebody making love or whatever. Ew. Yeah. She can do better than that. Anyway, I should react as if this is a real event when I know it's a fake event? I mean, obviously we viscerally, vicariously live a fantasy through these things, but we know it didn't really happen. We know, like, if I see the Darth Vader with his Death Star and it's pointed at Earth or something, I know that Earth isn't going to get destroyed. It's just a movie. I don't react as, oh, Earth's in trouble because the fantasy characters are coming to get us. It would be stupid for you idiots to argue that I could actually believe it doesn't matter and then still have a silly emotion over it. How is that possible? If I know it's, like I said, it's like me knowing something's anesthetized and then it's tortured. Well, if I know it's unconscious, what am I going to worry about? I'm not going to react. Go ahead, torture it. Yeah, go, knock yourself out. It's just a stupid argument. Insipidly stupid. Really, really stupid. Alright, so that's enough. And we know the counter argument is that there's lots of people who negate the existence of other people's capacity to feel and to suffer, and their capacity to do real harm to them, with this very mechanism that you're using, this very excuse, this very rationalization, completely empowers them to destroy and wreak havoc on the sentience of other beings by basically using some sort of rationalization to say it doesn't exist. So quite clearly people do that. And you're saying somehow it doesn't work the other way around. Of course it does. Alright, anyway, enough said. Fuck you. You suck.